The echoes of the asylum. The old asylum loomed ahead, its windows shattered, its facade crumbling. Urban explorers dared to enter, seeking thrills among the decayed walls. As they stepped inside, a chill gripped their hearts. Shadows danced in the flickering light, whispering secrets of the asylum's grim past. The air was heavy with a sense of dread, as if unseen eyes watched their every move, waiting to ensnare them in the asylum's dark history. They ventured deeper, past rusted gates and shattered corridors, feeling the weight of forgotten souls pressing down upon them. Suddenly, whispers echoed through the halls, voices long silenced by madness and despair. The asylum was awakening to their presence. Sarah, brave yet uneasy, noticed strange symbols etched into the walls, symbols of arcane rituals once performed in the dead of night. Jake, the skeptic, scoffed nervously but couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. "It's just old stories," he muttered, trying to reassure himself. Shadows lengthened, twisting into grotesque shapes that seemed to follow their every step. The asylum's energy was palpable now, a malevolent force. Emily gasped as a figure darted past, its form translucent yet unmistakably human. "Did you see that?" she exclaimed, her voice trembling. Tom, the leader, swallowed hard. He knew they had trespassed into something beyond their understanding, something hungry for retribution. They found themselves in the asylum's former library, shelves overturned, books strewn about like the fragmented memories of tormented souls. A diary lay open on a desk, its pages yellowed with age. Tom read aloud, recounting the horrors inflicted upon the asylum's inmates. The inmates had suffered cruel experiments, their anguish seeping into the very walls. The asylum became a prison of the mind, a breeding ground for darkness. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted. A spectral voice moaned through the corridors, a lamentation for lives lost and justice denied. Doors slammed shut, trapping them in the suffocating embrace of the asylum's despair. Panic clawed at their minds as they searched for an exit. Jake stumbled upon an old treatment room, rusted shackles hanging from the walls like the chains of forgotten nightmares. Sarah saw flickering lights ahead, drawing them deeper into the labyrinthine asylum. The echoes of anguished screams reverberated through the halls. Emily felt a cold hand brush against her cheek, though there was no one there. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, "We shouldn't have come." Shadows coalesced into faces of the tortured, their eyes hollow with sorrow and rage. The asylum demanded justice for its tormented souls. Tom, determined to uncover the truth, found a hidden passage leading to the asylum's darkest secret, a chamber where the asylum's darkest rituals were conducted. Symbols adorned the walls, glowing with an eerie light. The air hummed with malevolent energy, threatening to consume them all. In the center of the chamber, a spectral figure materialized, a former doctor driven mad by his own atrocities, now a vengeful spirit. The spirit howled in fury, accusing them of trespassing on sacred ground. It vowed to make them suffer as it had suffered, to etch their agony into eternity. Panic surged as the walls began to close in, morphing into grotesque forms that mirrored the inmates' tortured minds. Emily screamed as the spirits closed in around them, their faces contorted with anguish. "We have to leave," she cried, her voice echoing through the chamber. Sarah stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading upwards, towards faint moonlight peeking through a cracked window. They raced upwards, pursued by the chilling wails of the asylum's tormented spirits. Each step felt like an eternity in the grip of madness. At last, they burst through a boarded-up door, gasping for breath as they tumbled into the moonlit courtyard outside. The asylum loomed behind them, its windows dark and foreboding. Yet, they knew they had escaped the worst of its malevolent grasp, for now. As they caught their breath, Tom looked back at the asylum's looming silhouette. "We must tell others," he said, his voice grave with the weight of their shared terror. They made their way back to civilization, haunted by the echoes of the asylum's dark past. Nightmares plagued their sleep, visions of faces twisted in eternal torment. Weeks passed, but the asylum's grip on their minds remained strong. They couldn't shake the feeling that they had brought something back with them. Sarah woke one night to find shadows creeping along her bedroom walls, whispering secrets of suffering and despair. The asylum had marked them as its own. Emily heard faint cries in the wind, voices pleading for release from the asylum's cursed halls. Their anguish echoed in her dreams, a relentless torment. Jake, once a skeptic, found himself staring into mirrors that reflected faces not his own, faces contorted with pain, eyes filled with accusing sorrow. Tom delved into research, desperate to understand what they had encountered. The asylum's history was a tapestry of horror, woven with threads of cruelty and madness. He uncovered records of the asylum's closure, buried beneath layers of bureaucratic silence. Its secrets had been deemed too dark to reveal to the world. The spirits grew restless, their presence a constant shadow in their lives. Doors slammed inexplicably, lights flickered in rhythmic patterns that mimicked heartbeats. One stormy night, a spectral figure appeared at Sarah's bedside, a woman whose eyes burned with a desire for justice, for retribution against those who had wronged her. Emily awoke to find herself surrounded by ethereal hands, cold and clammy against her skin. Their touch seared with the pain of countless lost souls. Jake felt a presence in his room, a weight upon his chest that stole his breath. "I'm sorry," he whispered into the darkness, his voice barely a whisper. Tom's research led him to a survivor, a former nurse who had fled the asylum's horrors decades ago. Her eyes held a haunted wisdom, a testament to the asylum's enduring legacy. The nurse spoke of a ritual that could cleanse the asylum's tainted soul, a ritual of forgiveness and remembrance, a chance to set the spirits free. They gathered once more, united by a shared determination to confront the asylum's darkness. The ritual required courage and sacrifice, a willingness to face their own fears. In the asylum's shadowed courtyard, they stood in a circle, hands clasped tightly as they chanted words of peace and redemption. The air shimmered with anticipation as the ritual reached its climax. A blinding light enveloped them, washing away the asylum's malevolent presence. Spirits appeared, their forms now peaceful and serene. They whispered words of gratitude, their voices fading into the ether as they finally found peace. The asylum's walls crumbled, its dark history dissolving into the mists of time. Nature reclaimed what had once been tainted by human cruelty. Sarah, Emily, Jake, and Tom watched as the last echoes of the asylum faded away. A sense of closure washed over them, a bittersweet relief. They knew their lives would never be the same, marked forever by the horrors they had faced. Yet, they had also found strength in each other's courage. As they parted ways, the nightmares began to fade. The asylum's ghosts had found their peace, leaving behind a legacy of forgiveness and healing. Sarah returned to her artwork, finding solace in the beauty she created. The shadows no longer held sway over her creativity, now a source of inspiration. Emily volunteered at a shelter, offering comfort to those haunted by their own demons. Her empathy became a beacon of hope in the darkest of nights. Jake wrote about their experiences, weaving tales of resilience and redemption. His words gave voice to the silenced, honoring the asylum's forgotten souls. Tom became an advocate for mental health, ensuring that the mistakes of the past were never repeated. His determination forged a path towards a future of compassion. Years passed, and the asylum became a distant memory. Its legacy lived on in whispers and cautionary tales, a reminder of the darkness that lurks within humanity. Yet, in the hearts of Sarah, Emily, Jake, and Tom, the asylum's story remained a testament to the power of courage and compassion. And somewhere, in the echoes of time, the spirits of the asylum's lost souls found peace, their anguished cries silenced at last. The asylum stood silent and empty, a relic of the past. Its walls no longer held the weight of suffering, instead, they whispered tales of healing and redemption.